What is up, my dudes, and that one girl who likes all the new shiny things? This is Bikes, Beards, and Brews. Let's kick that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we kick this one off, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. New videos are coming weekly. You ring the bell, you'll know when they drop. Let's get the other stuff out of the way. Want to save 10% on our Krew communicator or save money on some Beyond Riders gear or some Kemimoto gear? Then you should definitely check my referral links down below. Want to support me in all the good deeds I do, like these cool guys here? Bam! Then you should become part of the Brew Crew and join the coffee page down below. Want to know why I'm asking you for money? Well, next to those 10,000 Amazon affiliate links that all go to a good cause, there is a video explaining what I do with your money. Get it? Got it? Cool. Let's move on. Okay guys, so today we're going to be talking about bikes that I feel Harley Davidson should be making in 2024. If not, it should be on their 2025 list and get it done very soon. We're talking about this today because in about 2 weeks, Harley is going to be doing their first announcement of the year. So they do these every quarter or whatnot, and they trickle out different bikes. And I'm fairly certain and I'm fairly confident in saying that none of these are going to be bikes that you see, but I feel like it's stuff that Harley really should be considering, and they're missing the mark by not doing this. First and foremost, and I feel like this is one that a lot of people can get on board with because I've seen this one pop up in the comments so many times. This bike actually has not been referenced by Harley for the better part of 5 years now. I want to say about 3-4 years ago is when they dropped it off their page entirely and just decided that they weren't going to acknowledge it, and yet people still talk about it. People still want it. There is still an underground that is like, why hasn't this bike happened? Why didn't it happen? Why did Harley get scared, get cold feet, and run away from this bike? Because it looks awesome. And of course, I am talking about the Harley Davidson Street Fighter known as the Bronx. This thing was teased on their Future Bikes page for quite a while, and this is a mean looking bike. This has some great lines to it. It looks aggressive, just parked. It looks aggressive. This is just an awesome looking bike. And let's be honest, Harley doesn't really have anything along the Street Fighter lines. So this really would have put them in a market where they could compete with other brands with a really cool looking bike. This reminds me of some of the stuff that Ducati puts out and, bikes along those lines. For some reason, Harley, they had it on their Future page, they were showing it, they were teasing it, people were excited about it, and then it just disappeared. And then shortly after, Harley's like, look, we're giving you the Sportster Sport, which in my opinion is an ugly ass bike. This thing is just horrid looking to begin with. I did not care for this whatsoever. I like the fact that they were trying to move forward with their Sportsters and try and do something a little bit different and, actually put some horsepower in there and stuff, but I don't feel like they really stuck the landing on this bike. So we had something that just looked beautiful, mean, aggressive, just a great looking bike, and then we got milquetoast. Thanks, Harley. But in 2024, you really should consider revisiting the Bronx. I feel like there's still a lot of excitement around this bike. There's still a lot of people who would love to swing a leg over this bike. And this really would put you in markets that you don't currently have, especially with your current lineup of the Sportster Sport and the Nightster. Let's be honest, not the greatest look, but whatever. Some people do like them. And at the end of the day, it's what you're happy riding, right? Not my thing. Other people's thing. Glad Harley's doing something. So yes, top of the list, Harley Bronx, but let's move on to the next one. All right, so next up in this line, it's more of a generic sort of thing. It's not a bike in particular or specific, but I feel like it's something that Harley is completely missing the mark on, and that is a sub $10,000 bike. Now, Harley used to have this with the Sportster 883 and stuff like that. They don't do that anymore. Their cheapest bike is the Nightster. They just cut $2,000 off of that thing because it's not selling so well. It didn't land with that just amazing like explosion they expected. It landed with more of a dull thud. So they shaved off $2,000. It's now $12 grand MSRP. So, you know, when you go to your dealership or different countries, you're going to see a different price. US MSRP, 12 grand. And that's, of course, if you don't, you know, buy an extra paint job or you get the crappy gray or whatever that they're offering this year. Nonetheless, something sub 10K is going to appeal to your newer riders, your riders that don't have a lot of money right now. It is going to appeal to people that you're trying to bring into the Harley ecosystem. So when they do get that better job, when they do fall in love with riding, when they do fall in love with Harley, they're going to upgrade to the next bike. This is called playing the long game. And honestly, Harley really has not been doing this since they brought in their new CEO. In fact, when their new CEO came in, he specifically said his goal was to make less bikes, so he wanted to trim down all the lines. He wanted to focus on the bigger, heavier weight bikes with that had a higher ticket to them, so there was more of a profit margin, which I understand and I get that. You want to have a profit margin, you want to make money, totally understand. But when you're doing that, you're only focusing on the people who are already in your ecosystem. So when you're focusing on these big heavyweight baggers and you're focusing on these big trikes, you're focusing on people that, let's be honest, are on their way out of Earth. Like they're not going to be around too much longer, or they may be switching to something totally different like a gold wing or whatnot, because like they're getting older and the Harley thing is not appealing as much. You need to bring in the next generation of rider, and the best way to do that is with a sub 10K bike. And don't tell me Harley cannot do this. Almost every other bike manufacturer out there is doing this. And let's be clear, I know that Harley has the X350 and the X500. These are only available in foreign countries currently, and they're not made by Harley, they're not produced by Harley. Essentially, Harley outsourced their name to another bike manufacturer to put a Harley sticker on the plastic gas tank cover, and that's it. And these are to appeal to markets that really only are interested in smaller, lightweight, cheap bikes. These should not come to the US. And the only reason why I say this is because they share absolutely no DNA with any other Harley in the lineup. So really, if you get somebody on an X350 or an X500 and they start growing out of that and they're like, cool, I really like this engine that it has. I really like the feel that this has. What's the next step up? What's the big brother to this bike? You are going to be pushing them into something in the Honda lineup or the Kawasaki lineup or something like that. These other bikes that have much closer DNA to the X350 or X500. So no, I am not talking about that bike. You need something that has a V-twin in it, even if it is the Rev Max, because, you know, clearly you're starting to lean into that a little bit more. But you need something that shares the DNA of the next bikes up. So when they come, they ride, they're like, this is great, I've grown out of this, it's time to move up and move on. They're going to go to that bigger bike, and then the bigger bike, and then the bigger bike. Essentially, bring them into your ecosystem, get them there, make them feel welcome, show them that there is a bike for them at any stage in their life, and let them grow all the way up. That is playing the long game. That is part of succeeding. Yes, your profit margin is going to be much smaller on a sub 10K bike. And let's be honest, you're not going to have like probably super high-end fit and finish and stuff like that. But I'm not asking for an $8,000 CVO. I'm asking for an $8,000 or $9,000 entry-level bike like you did with the 883s to help people come in the door and become part of the Harley family. Again, you've been missing this. You need to do this. Let's get on this, Harley. All right, so my last bike for this whole 2024 thing, and no, I don't have a huge list because quite honestly, right now, Harley has a lot of different markets covered with the different sizes, the different weights, and the different styles of bikes. There's just a few holes that I feel like they should be filling in here. And so, you know, this isn't like this whole just list of garbage where it's like, Harley, you fail, you suck, whatever. It's like, no, do these. Most of the stuff you already have. Let's make it happen. In fact, that sub 10K, make that a retro bike or a cafe bike. Those are still popular, and they are popular among younger riders. So if you were to do that, you got a sub 10K that's a cafe bike, you're appealing to a totally different market, you're bringing them in. That'd be cool. Nonetheless, the next bike on my lineup, and I use the term bike very loosely here. I've mentioned this before, I've talked about it on the channel, I've said Harley, they should be making this, and again, I want to drive this home. Harley has a few prototypes for a reverse trike called the Penster. Now, honestly, I'd love to see a better name than the Penster, but we'll stick with that for the time being because that is what they're calling it. They have two different versions. They have one that's definitely a 2-up, and then they have one that's just a 1-up. Now, these have been around for a little while. They use twin cam engines. They just sit in the Harley Museum. Quite honestly, I feel like they're still pretty good looking bikes, especially considering, you know, reverse trike. Not something I would buy. In fact, anything on this list aside from that Bronx, nothing I'm really interested in. I'm looking at more of what Harley should be considering to, again, bring more people into their ecosystem and grow the brand, strengthen the brand, and keep it alive for years to come. So back to the Penster. I would love to see them take this, upgrade it a little bit, like drop in that Rev Max engine and do two different versions with that 2-up, you know, like tune it down just a little bit so your passenger isn't flying off the back when you hammer on the throttle, and then do a sport version on that single seat one. The reason why I bring up the Penster is because reverse trikes do have a foothold in the market. Whether we like it or not, they are out there, they are chipping away, lots of people like them, and lots of people are moving towards them, and especially people who may not be able to hold up a 2-wheel bike anymore. They are choosing stuff like the Riker and the Spiders over like a trike from Harley because it's a fraction of the price. They can still ride, they still have that motorcycle feel. This is something that Harley needs to consider. Get those Pensters, put them around the $25,000, $27,000 price range. Put that like Rev Max engine in them so you can keep them around for a while and people can ride them and all that stuff. And then again, these are going to be in the Harley ecosystem, so you're going to have that aftermarket with them. You know, you're going to see like saddleman seats, you're going to see luggage for them, you're going to see all this stuff where you can upgrade, change, and like make them your own. Stuff that Spider and Riker really are like challenged with. I've seen people on Rikers, and I've actually gone through the build your own Riker like page before, and it's essentially like choose different stickers. It's lame. Harley could really get a foothold in this market. Now, also with this, I'm not saying make like 50,000 of these and, you know, put like 20 in every single dealership. These are probably not going to be huge sellers in the Harley environment, but they will sell and they will bring people in or keep people in the Harley ecosystem, which is important. Again, not everyone wants to spend close to 40K or above for a Harley trike, and that chases them away. I have personally talked to people who are giving up like street glides, road glides, because they're getting older or they've had surgeries or stuff like that. They can't hold up these bikes. They don't feel comfortable on these bikes. So they're moving to a trike. And a lot of these people are saying that they're looking into Rikers, they're looking into Spiders, mainly because they are a fraction of the price of what the Harley trike is. So why lose that sale altogether? Get something kind of affordable, keep it in the Harley ecosystem, and keep these people with you. That is just a great marketing move. Make these a more limited run and just put them out there so you're not taking huge losses, hopefully no losses on these things, and you're just filling in another gap that you don't currently cover, Harley. Let's get on this. Anyway, that's what I have. What bikes would you like to see Harley put out there? And let's be honest, there's a fair chance they're not bringing back like the Evo engine. They're not bringing back the Knucklehead, the Panhead, or anything like that. If anything, they would have to bastardize them so badly to get them up to EPA standards, you wouldn't even recognize them anymore. So, you know, when you're like, oh, bring back the 1920 whatever, it's not happening, guys. But what kind of bikes would you like to see them bring forth? What sort of market would you like to see them target? Throw it down in the comments below. I'd love to know. And aside from that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share this video with friends, share it with family, share it with that one dude you know who's just sitting in a corner, all the lights out, drinking some JD going, that Bronx would have been awesome. He loves this stuff, trust me. And I'll see you all on the flip side.